What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about the sequel to Alphabet Squadron, Shadowfall by Alexander Freed. So I do want to start off by saying this isn't one of the books that I was super excited about. I did like Alphabet Squadron, but it's not necessarily the type of Star Wars that really gets me excited. It's a lot of battles, it's a lot of ships, that kind of thing. So if that's your jam, you're definitely gonna love this series, and I do particularly like it because it is dealing with a point in time in Star Wars that is very dark. We are in that transitionary period when, we've just done the Battle of Endor, the Empire has fallen, but the Empire's not gone. And what I really enjoyed from Alphabet Squadron is that we do learn that the rebellion wasn't ready to win. So this is a lot of bloody fighting, everybody's exhausted, everybody's ready for it to be over. And in Shadowfall, you really feel that. Our main characters are really going through, this guilt and, this heaviness from, this huge fight that they had at the end of Alphabet Squadron. They're still really dealing with things, and then suddenly, people are dying, and it feels like everything's hopeless. It feels like they're just fighting this war that is never going to end. And I do like seeing that. I do think it's really interesting. And I also really like in this book that Erica Quell's story, it's really, really cool. It's very complex. She's still dealing with the fact that she's keeping this secret of her past, of her being an Imperial, of how she switched sides. She's still keeping the secret. She's so afraid of people finding out. And there is this amazing chapter in this book that is very, metaphorical. She's in, this hell type of, landscape and going through, her thought process and her emotions. It was really, really cool to see her work through. And out of everything, I am most excited to see that going into the final book in the series. With that being said, though, I did find this book very boring. Most of it is a lot of battles, and I will say that I was really only interested in two characters out of everybody in this book, and that was Yurika and Chas. Chas is going through something that's pretty interesting. We get to meet some pretty cool people on her side of the story, but as far as everybody else is concerned, it was mostly the battle and, trying to lure back in Shadow Legion and all this kind of stuff, and it just wasn't doing it for me, but I do know that some people are going to really enjoy that. I do think it was well written. I think it was slow moving, and the way Alexander Freed writes just really isn't my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna knock it just because I didn't like it. What I will knock it for is that I do think that we're going down a trajectory that I'm not sure I trust Alexander Freed is going to be able to wrap up meaningfully or significantly, especially after the Rise of Skywalker. This book felt very depressing and very cynical, which was the point. This is the darker middle chapter. This had nothing to do with the Rise of Skywalker. I'm sure when this was being published, they had no idea anything that was going on, but it just feels so depressing, and there is no hope. It is very, very hopeless, especially when you get into Chastna Chaddock's character. She's going through a lot. She was very suicidal in the first book. She's still dealing with that in this one, and some of it was a little bit triggering, and I just don't know if I trust the author to handle that with the kind of care that it deserves. Same thing with Yurika. She's going down a very dark path. There's so much darkness inside of her, and I'm really hoping that it's going to be handled well when we get into the last book. And then as far as everybody else is concerned, there just wasn't really anything going on that dragged me to them, that made me latch on to it, made me care about what was going on. I do think that Wyle's story is kind of interesting. He's really ready for this war to be over. He really wants to go home, but it just didn't grab me in the same way. So I am giving Shadowfall a B-. It's just not my favorite. It's not the type of Star Wars that I'm really into. It is well done, though. I know a ton of people who do like this series, so would I recommend it? I think it's gonna depend on the type of stuff you like. There's a lot of battles in this. There is a lot of technical stuff. There's a lot of flying. There is a lot of strategy, all that kind of stuff. So if that's what you like out of Star Wars, you're definitely gonna like this. With that being said, though, I do really love Yurika and Chas. I have really connected to those characters. I do like the time period that this book is set in. There's some cool tie-ins with Aftermath, so it is doing some cool things, but just not my favorite. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything got for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!